I want to start by congratulating you, because as far as I know, this is the first time that anybody has actually broken the box office at the Paramount Theater. Yeah. And if you had told me that a talk by a climate scientist would be the one to break the box office, I never would have believed you. Also, if you had told me when I first started studying climate science that one day climate change and immigration would be the two most politically polarized issues in the entire United States, I never would have believed you either. Yeah, I'm not sure we should really applaud that one. Because today it is. Climate change has beat out gun control, death penalty, abortion even, as one of the most politically polarized issues. But for me as a climate scientist, it just seems incredible because a thermometer does not give you a different answer depending on how you vote. At the same time, though, recognizing the context in which we are discussing climate change today in the public sphere, we can't just talk about the science. We have to talk about it, how it relates to all of these untouchable topics that we're told never to bring up in polite company. Money, politics, and God. So we're going to go there today. But you can't just divide people up into black and white, yes or no, this or that. This is why I think this study called the 6 Americas of Global Warming is so brilliant, because it divides us all up into 6 different groups. And here's the fascinating thing. The 2 groups we hear the most from are 2 of the smallest groups, especially the dismissive group. Did you know that people who are truly dismissive, I love the name dismissive, I like it much better than denier. Number 1 is it's not loaded, and number 2 is it really describes what dismissives are. Dismissives are people, here's my official definition. Dismissives are people who, if an angel from God appeared in front of them with tablets of stone saying climate change is real in letters of flame, they would dismiss it. So heaven help you if you somehow think that any more scientific evidence will change their minds. It will not. Well, what's the solution to this? Often, in fact, I get an email almost every week saying often, you know, Katharine, if you could just explain the science to so-and-so, I'm sure they would get it. Or if you could just help me explain the science to so-and-so, I know they would get it. I just saw a colleague on Facebook today explaining the science to somebody in hopes that he would get it. Here's the thing, that assumption is based on the idea that we're blank slates, just waiting to have the right information written on us. If we look in the United States, as I said before, just about, there's 16% of people who do not belong to a specific faith, and the rest do. So that is why there is such a deliberate and intelligent attempt to make it part of our culture to reject this issue, because then we feel like we have to reject our culture and our very identity if we're going to accept the reality of a changing climate. That is why we see headlines like this. When we look at climate change concern levels in the United States and we divide them out by affiliation, we have all Americans, and then we have, who's the most concerned people group? Anybody with really good eyesight, can you read that second line? Hispanic Catholics. And then, anybody with really good eyesight, can you read the bottom line? Okay, this is where the wheels start to fall off the bus, right? Because, forgive me, but I thought that Hispanic Catholics and white Catholics had the same pope. And I kind of thought that he was this guy. And I also thought that this is just one of the things he said in the over 100-page encyclical that he wrote about climate change, yes or no? Yes. Global warming is caused by enormous consumption of wealthy nations with repercussions in the poorest places on the planet. So is it being Catholic that makes people reject the reality of a changing climate? No. Is it being evangelical that makes them reject it? No.